Mambo Jumbo Familia Angle. This is your bullheaded grandfather, Eli-Ben-Eli. And, first of all, greetings on a Saturday evening. I don't know what time of the day it is in your country. It is evening here. And I felt that I had to make a video to discuss certain things that I've seen that I find very, very disturbing. I watched a video at Marwa's house opening in which cake was being fed to various people. And the man who raised Marwa, the man who fed him, took care of him, even gave him the land on which his house sits, was treated like a nothing. The false-hearted engineer, the pseudo-engineer, the fake engineer of the villa was treated more like a father than the father. Totally shocking. I mean, and by the way, I have been very, very carefully scrutinizing all of the videos of the villa and all of the party videos. I'm noticing something. I don't know if any of you are noticing this, but where are these international? This is supposed to be an international party in which billionaires, zillionaires, and homonaires are flying in by helicopter, landing on the helipad and being ferried back and forth in limousine. All they're going to see is a bunch of village people that are hungry for some ugali and sumo wiki, and, who, most of them are broke. A few dollars a day is plenty for them. And this man is offering free food. Hey, why not go and celebrate? Apparently, other than for a handful of people, Christmas lists, that gentleman from Florida that bought Marwa several expensive gifts. Who else? There's one black gentleman, supposed to be from Dallas, Texas. What? People in Dallas tend to be very intelligent. They tend to have a lot of common sense. This man flew to Africa to see this. Anyway, the point is that the party is a flop. And what I was saying the other day, I'm sorry, but it appears to be true. This is most of the time that you see videos of this party, what you see are men dancing with men and occasionally women dancing with women. But the last one that I saw, it was a bunch of young men dancing with each other. Here in the United States, people tend to be very honest about certain things. When you see several men dancing alone, you call it a sausage party, and you assume that those men have a certain kind of lifestyle. A normal heterosexual male is not going to just stand there dancing with another man. It's just, it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange, and as to the couple of Mazungus that have turned up so far, okay, let me say something about Rocio. I grew up surrounded by people from Latin America, from South America, Latin America, and I'm going to tell you something about them. They come in two flavors. Some of them are very, very humble and are very receptive of friendship from other people. If you look at them, they are not considered Muzungus here in America. They're considered to be a mixed blood. Okay. The people that in Marwa's compound I've been treated, the woman who's been treated like a god in Marwa's complex. Here in the United States, is part of a community that's really looked down on. You know, if you consider her Mexican or if you consider her from Argentina, Mexicans, don't get me wrong, Mexicans are wonderful people. I love Mexicans. But here in the United States, it's like, you know, Mexicans are treated like if they're nothing. So, you know, it's like if a man comes along and pretends to a Mexican woman who comes from a poor family and is struggling to make it in life, and he pretends that he has a lot of money, it doesn't matter what his color is. She's going to give him a certain amount of attention. She's going to get involved with him. But take that same woman to Africa, and all of the villagers, all of the YouTube Marwa cult members are treating her like a goddess. You know, in the meantime, you have several black women at that complex. Take village cooked tea. Beautiful body, beautiful face, remarkable looking skin. Take Paris. Paris she has a beautiful looking kadunk. I'm sorry, but she does. You know, take all of these women, and Marwa is so incredibly self-hating, so racist against his own skin color, that he's going to jump over all of these women to get involved with a sickly-looking boy, girl, or lady boy, or I don't know what. He'd rather have her who doesn't have a chest, doesn't have any hips, you know, doesn't have a behind. This woman looks like a stick, and this is what Marwa prefers. Well, yeah, I mean, I have to say this. This is the same Marwa who always has little boys for no reason hanging around his bedroom. Kind of straight. You know, I looked at that and I really felt sorry at the way that they treated congrats Pa, like if he was just nothing and nobody. This is the man who raised Marwa. This is the man who gave him that land. This is the man who at various points we have seen him encouraging Marwa. When Marwa got sick and had a moment of sanity and began to realize that that engineer is a fraud, he said, I'll turn everything over to my father. But when the celebration comes, that father's treated like if he's nothing. You know, it's kind of heartbreaking. The thing that I have seen that I find the most disturbing, okay, two things. I'm going to start with one that I've already discussed a little. Christmas list keeps saying, oh, let the children have fun and everything. No, he's not talking about children. He's talking about young boys. And if you look at some of his videos where they're dancing outdoors, he pays an incredible amount of attention to these little boys dancing. And then he does something which, in my mind, is highly suspect. He takes it upon himself to give these boys money. Why? If you know anything about child molestation, and I know it because at a certain point when I used to practice law, I dealt with some of those cases. Be very careful about people who give children gifts. Okay, one of the things that I have learned in life is this. If I'm going to give a child a gift, I'm going to give it to their parents and tell her or him, here, this is for your child. You never give a child a gift directly unless their parents are present. Why is that? Child molesters groom children by giving them a present. Oh, here's a little something. Here, take this, take that. Don't tell your mother and father. Or they do it outside of the presence of the mother and father. Why was he giving those children money? Okay, and if you notice something about the way that the children started dancing for him after he gave them money, there's something, he kept insisting, oh, let the children be children, blah, 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 blah. Let the children be supervised by their parents. And parents, keep your eyes on your children. Do not trust these passport bros that travel around the world, okay, and are so friendly to children. A lot of the time, those people are sex tourists and they're predators. In their country, if they're caught molesting a boy or a girl, they're looking at several years in prison in which they're going to do a lot of suffering. In an African country, if they molest a little boy in a poor village and give him a little bit of money, and the little boy tells their parents there's something strange happened, they're going to probably take the money and say, oh, forget it. Okay, I don't trust Christmas lists. That business of surreptitiously giving children money, there's something very, very bad about that. And then the other thing happened that I think was kind of funny. Finally the Marwa party began to deteriorate. Really, as I said before, all of this nonsense about an international audience. International party. What international party? You have a lot of hungry villagers who are happy to get some meat, some diseased chicken that has died and is being slaughtered and fed to them. Some ugali and some sumawiki. What international party are we talking about? What I saw was a bunch of muras, a bunch of fundis in a sausage party. Men dancing with men, little boys dancing for the one Mazungu who's there, who basically, the way that I read Christmas list is this. This is a man who claims that he's very successful, and I have no doubt that he probably is very successful. But at the end of the day, being very successful doesn't mean anything if people don't take you seriously. So what does he do? He travels around the world, and he acts like a big shot, and he befriends somebody like Marwa. Christmas list is the only person who's him. There may be like two other so-called international people. Rocio, let's again take a good look at her. Latin American women, Latino women, Mexican women, Argentinian women, they're like nothing in their homelands. Okay, this woman claims that she's a singer. Every other woman in Mexico or Argentina who knows how to play a guitar is a singer. They stand on street corners and sing and play their guitars for coins. Okay, who are her parents? What is her educational background? Frankly speaking, this woman strikes me as being a low-class woman who is desperate for, it's like, I remember what Michel Ponte said about eating a lot of ugali. A middle-class person might be offended at eating a lot of ugali. A poor woman, she's going to be grateful to have any food to eat at all, and she's going to eat it happily. That's how I see Rocio. And some of these other people that came, there was one who in Florida rented Marwa a hotel room. Really? Why would one man rent another man a hotel room? Maybe people don't understand the connotation of that in terms of how people act in America. When you rent another person a room, a grown adult a room, it is generally presumed that what you are doing is you're engaging in something that in America is called a booty call. You rent that person a room, you go and you have sex with that person in that room. And you don't take them to your house because you don't want your neighbors to see them, and to say, oh, look, did you see what he brought home? And then he bought Marwa a lot of expensive presents. No wife, no girlfriend, no female was introduced. If you notice, in most of the people that he met and lived with in America, there was kind of something suspect about his dealings. Again, I call it saga, Sodom and Gomorrah agenda. Remember Mr. Luis? Oh, Maura, I will buy you a suit. I will... something just doesn't smell right about the way that Marwa behaves with a lot of these other men. It's just suspicious. Very suspicious. But anyway, the only one who was so hot, was so hot for Marwa that he flew all the way from Florida to spend time with Marwa, was the same guy who rented him a motel and everything. And there's something afoot there that I just, but anyway, the thing that I saw that bothered me the most is this. A little background, if you please. Currently, there is flooding going on in different parts of Kenya because of heavy rains. Strongman 254 has donated a bunch of plumbing services to Marwa, for which he has not gotten one penny. I think that Marwa bought him a blue uniform and feeds him, buys him food and everything, but the man is not getting paid for all of his work. He's doing all of it because he wants Marwa to help him build his channel. He said something very, very sad in a video. He was talking about how his wife lives in a part of Kenya that is being flooded out, and that her house is flooded with water. Her mattress is all wet. She has no place to sleep. His children have no place to sleep. And in the meantime, here he is, happily being like a little dog for Marwa, fixing his plumbing. And Marwa, in the name of God, man, have you no decency? Go home. Go home. Take care of your children. Is your hunger for fame, Strongman 254, so high that you're willing to allow your children and your wife to suffer, to not even have an adequate place to live, just to build up your channel? My God, man, have some... wake up. You're insane. And Marwa takes advantage of this. Is Marwa aware of the fact that this man's family has been flooded out? Okay, Marwa wants the world to think that he's this big humanist. Why doesn't he give this man some money and tell him, here, send it to your family, or here, take this and go home? This is insane. Christmas List said that this is the party of a century. This is let the children play, blah, 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 blah. Party of what century? Party of what century? You have some hungry, poor, local villagers who love the opportunity to eat free food. They love the opportunity to eat at somebody else's expense. Look at Marwa. Marwa is very typical of that village. And they are delighted that you have this fool, feeding all of them and everything. So, yes, of course they win. But they were talking about how many thousands of people would descend on Nyabo Hanset and enjoy the festivities and the Thrilla villa of the future Kenyan Manila being thrown by the King of Kings, the Viceroy of, I don't know where. Marwa is basically a sham. In the end, the only people that are going to brave getting malaria, getting cholera, getting diarrhea, getting COVID possibly, getting a fever, pneumonia, whatever other diseases come with getting bit by mosquitoes in that, mosquito infested land. The only thing that, people are willing to go to a place like that for is, hey, they already live there and they're hungry. They're hungry because a lot of their young men in that area, the economy has become depressed. A lot of families have had their young men who should be working and giving their mother and father and brothers and sisters financial assistance. They're so busy trying to humor Marwa, treating him like a god, that they're working for nothing. They're taking their hard-earned money and buying him goats and flour and cattle and chicken and everything. While Marwa is a fraud. He pretends that he's very, very wealthy. He's not. But at the same time, he's able to sustain himself. They're busy giving a man who already has enough of what he needs even more. The whole thing is a fracas and a fiasco and a failure. All of this stuff about how this was going to be that this is the party of a century, it is not. It is a village party attended by villagers. Okay. Folks, if you watch this far, if you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel, please do so. The numbers are getting better, but I still have a long way to go. I want to get to 500 and then 1,000, and I need each and every one of you, to do it. Please help me out, and you will be blessed for it. Help your bald-headed grandpa. In the meantime, this video, I don't like making very long videos. Why? It's very simple. Very long videos bore me. And if I'm bored, I imagine you will be too. But in the meantime, there's a saying that Jews say on Saturday night to each other. Shavua Tov. That means have a happy week, and I will see you again soon. In the meantime, please, my Kenyan friends, my East African friends, try to stay safe, try to avoid getting sick, and may God be with you. Bye-bye.